Hey, sis. Welcome to Now Woman Rising, the podcast for purpose-driven, faith-filled, family-shifting, legacy-making women who is done playing small. I'm Alese Hurt, servant leader, wife, mama, and your holistic wellness home girl. Here to walk with you as you rise, heal, break cycles, and shine unapologetically in your God-given purpose. Whether you're trailblazing in your business, praying over your babies, or just trying to drink your water and mind your business, we see you, sis. Here's the truth. You are not alone. This space is sacred and safe. So grab your tea, light your candle, and let's get into this soul talk. Let's rise, let's glow, let's go. Hello, everyone. It is Alese Hurt here, your servant leader, and I am here for another episode of Now Women Rising. I have another phenomenal guest this morning, and we're just going to get right into it. Is that okay with you?
Let's do it.
All right. So please tell everyone who you are, what brought you to this journey, and a little bit about you.
Oh gosh, where to begin? Well, first, my name is Alese Johnston. I am currently co-founder of StorageTrader, a company that helps match people with that want to make investments in self-storage facilities with people who have offerings that they need investment for. I've also written books about the self-storage space. But what I think is most fun was my recent journey through the adventure of turning 70 and committing to do 70 new things that year. So that was a big growth opportunity.
Oh. Well, what moment in your life made you realize that you were called to break generational patterns?
Oh, I love that question. I come from a long line of really interesting women, and my grandmother was the most amazing trailblazer. Um, she back in the late 30s, early 40s, when women didn't have much agency in this country, my grandmother left a very abusive relationship while she was pregnant, and went and blazed her own trail. Actually found a job, managed to buy her own house when that wasn't done. And so she just refused um, to live in that abusive space. But that cycle seems to have, gone through generations in our family. It's like my mother, even though my grandmother was very strong, my mother wandered right straight into an abusive relationship and couldn't find her way out. And I found myself similarly in an abusive marriage, and I just refused that. We're going to stop it right here, you know? And so it was also all three of us had very violent upbringings. Like there were a lot of beatings and that kind of stuff. And so I swore before I became a mother that I would never hit my child. It's like, we stop this now.
Right. Amen.
And my daughter, if you ask her today, she will tell you that she only ever got physically disciplined once, and she had it coming. So I've been really thankful to break that big cycle in our family of violence and emotional abuse.
Well, I am so glad that you took a stance and you said, nope, not no more. We're going to change it. We're going to change the direction of our
Right?
lives. Yeah, for our family, our future family, like from generations to come. So, what
That's
lie
right.
did you have to unlearn to fully walk in your purpose?
You sent me that question in advance, and I've had so much fun with that. It really made me think about what is a true answer to that. Um, and I would have to tell you, I have spent most of my life caught in a trap between uh, my father saying I was never enough. I could never please him, never make him happy. Um, and I would come home with A's on my report card, and he would want to know why I didn't have A pluses. So that on one side, and then society uh, has always put pressure on women to say you're too much, you're complicated, you're difficult, and so you have to find a way to walk between not being enough and being too much. And I just had to overcome allowing either one of those statements to be true.
Yeah.
I'm just me. Love me, hate me, don't care. This is the path. This is my soul contract to walk this life. And so if you tell me I'm too much, that's your thing and not mine.
That's right. So describe a season where God's wait felt like a no, and what did you learn in that in-between phase?
I feel like there's this little voice that's always guiding me. And sometimes it's not an outright no, sometimes it's a little nudge. It's like, will you move right a little bit? um, so I've heard no really loudly a couple of times. When I got divorced 3 years ago, I had contracts in place to build a giant self-storage facility. I had a couple of other storage facility projects in play. And all of a sudden, the banks pulled my funding, and because I got divorced. And that seemed really unfair, and I railed against that for the longest time. And then I finally recognized the universe was just sending me down another path, that I had other missions to accomplish, and that wasn't it. So instead of being something that happened to me or against me, it was actually for me. So you just have to learn to listen,
That is the hardest part. It's
right?
when you are forced to surrender and listen and release and say, okay, God, I trust you. Let's because there's nothing else. You're not in control. So there's like
Yeah.
nothing else.
No, apparently I'm not in control as much as I would love to be.
Me too. That part. So how do you balance being a powerhouse for others while you still have to nurture yourself?
Oh, I am the queen of nurturing myself. um, I used to do a lot of bank consulting that made me travel all over the US. And I would do things like schedule massages in new cities that I was visiting. And so at one point, I had quite a Rolodex of great massage spas across the US. But I also would go buy myself flowers for my desk at every new place that I went.
Oh,
Whether I, went to the local grocery store and picked them up, or I had to call a florist and have them delivered, like I always had flowers on my desk because that just made me happy. It made it feel more like home.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
and I still do those things. I have flowers sitting on the kitchen island here in my apartment, and I schedule regular massages and fun little treats just to, keep my soul happy.
That's good. So tell me, like, how do you prioritize? Like, do you put something as simple as putting something on your calendar? Like, how do you ensure that these things happen?
I put them on my calendar. Absolutely. If they're not on calendars, they don't happen because I live and die by my calendar.
So
And,
true.
you know, gracious. But yeah, you do have to. I don't know that I don't know that I require prompting for it anymore. It's like such an inherent part of what I do. Um, I know that if I don't take care of myself, I can't show up for my business partners. I can't show up properly for my daughter and my grandson. And, I don't. I don't take care of the people in my life if I'm not nurtured.
So was there ever a moment when you wanted to quit on your dreams, your assignments, or even yourself?
No. Mm-mm. I just that I am a triple Aries, and the word quit is not one that I understand. It doesn't compute for me. So I just you can knock me down, you can burn me to the ground. I'm just going to get back up and start all over again. Just
Amen.
perpetually embodying the phoenix thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, has your definition of success changed as you've grown in faith and in purpose?
So that's another question that I really liked. That taking the long view, my definition of success when I was 20 uh, might have been very dollar based. And, I remember once thinking, oh, my next door neighbor at the apartment made $20,000 next year and I only made 12. Now, those numbers don't compute these days, but then it was, can I make enough money to support myself and my daughter? And it's very, very numbers based, very, what does it take for us to get by?
Right.
So success was making sure I had gas in the car and I paid daycare for my daughter and her medical bills were covered and she was fed. So that was very, you know, basic definition of success. And then several decades later, it was the really big house in the gated neighborhood and all the fancy parties and the ball gowns, and that defined success for me. But at this stage of my life, in my 70s, I will tell you that success is community. It is leaving a legacy somehow or the other. It is inspiring my friends to give themselves permission to live out loud, uh, to be everything that they want to be. It's freedom. Success is freedom to do whatever
Amen.
your mission is. You can't define that by a big fancy house or how much money is in the bank account, although that helps. But it is your soul free to do what it's called to do.
Yeah.
And do you have friends to do it with? Um, and I think if you have a good social group and enough resources to support whatever it is you're trying to do, then that's a good life.
Yeah. So tell me, what does being a now woman mean to you in this season of your life? And tell me, how is it different from who you used to be?
You ask the best questions. I think that speaks a great deal to living in the moment. Like, what are you called to do right now? Are you listening? You know, are you really paying attention? And what do you spend some time asking yourself what feels authentic?
Yeah.
Like, can you really be real about who you are? Not who my daughter expects me to be or who my business partner expects me to be, but who am I? And where does this growth journey take me? Um, did that answer your question at all?
Yes, absolutely. Because it's what it means to you. And for everyone, it is so different. So
Mm.
tell me, can you share a time when obedience to God didn't make sense, but it changed everything?
I can't really. That's a question I really struggle with asking or answering rather. I mean, there was a time 10 years ago when I felt called to leave my highly paid consulting practice and and be willing to not make any money at all for years to go learn how to be an entrepreneur, to go learn how to build companies. Uh, and that's the journey I'm on now. And that feels like what I'm called to do in this life is to build things. And walking that path has helped me understand that I'm not the human that you want to be your operations manager and do the same task over and over and over again. It's not
Right.
I am the person that you want evangelizing your concept. I build things. Um, I think many women, in their true, authentic, feminine self, are creators deeply. And I feel that in this phase of my life. I feel like I'm called to create. But once something is created, I'm going to be ushering it out the door.
Right.
You give birth to your kids and then you send them to school, right? So, yeah. And then I want to like, okay, can we have another kid? Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, what legacy are you intentionally building for your family and future generations?
So my legacy, what I want my kids and my friends to hear loud and clear is that you have agency and you need to hold on to your vitality. I want them to see me running full tilt at whatever mission I'm called to pursue until the day I get to make the trip to the next universe. I'm not going to the nursing home. It's not happening. So my legacy has to be one of vitality and reinvention. That's another word I like a lot. Reinvention. I do that a lot.
So if you could sit down with your younger self, what would you tell her about the woman she's becoming?
Oh, I would tell her, buckle up, buttercup. Strap on your roller skates and get ready because the magic's on its way. I would tell her not to lose hope and
Yeah.
to not be afraid because it's all going to be just fine.
Yep, it's gonna be all right, honey.
It's going to be all right. And remind me I said that 30 years from now when I'm still going. And
That's right. Yes, ma'am. Run the tape back.
right.
So, for those women that are like, "Ooh, I want to learn more. What else does she do?" Please enlighten them.
Oh, so if you want to learn about investing in self-storage, which is my absolute favorite asset class, you need to come over to StorageTrader.com. We have a lot of reading material, or you can sign up to be an investor, or you can sign up to sponsor deals. And like, we have a lot of material about how that happens too. It's a really good asset class, and I think women need to be paying attention to, their own investments. But if you want to follow some of my more lighthearted adventures, you can find me at fabulous70. Don't spell it out. Use the number 70.com. And you can email me there, Alese, Alese at fabulous70.com, and follow along with my adventures in doing new things at 70.
Cool, cool. Well, if someone needs that extra push and they're
Mhm.
on the fence, what wisdom would you give to them?
Oh, honey, my favorite thing to tell people is just show up. Just you don't have to be the best at what you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be good at networking. You don't have to be all those things you tell yourself have to be. You don't. Just show up. See what you can learn and who you can meet. And that does, that might be a chamber event, that might be church, that might be, a dance lesson. It doesn't matter. Just listen to what you're called to do and show up. And the universe will show you the path.
Amen. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of our mission to inspire and uplift others. I am so happy that I had you on this platform, and we're going to put all your links below this video as well. And so do you have anything else you want to say?
Oh gosh, just that it was a delight to get to meet you.
Yes, ma'am. Same here. Same here. Well, thank you again. And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Now Woman Rising. Take care for now. Woo! Yes, Lord. That was so good. Sis, if nobody told you today, let me be the first. You are chosen. You are covered. And you are called for such a time as this. Keep standing tall, walking bold, and staying surrendered. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with your sister circle, and leave a review so we can keep spreading the word for this kingdom vibe. Until next time, this is Alicia Hurt reminding you, you are not alone. And you were never meant to be. Now, woman, rise up and let's go.